Yeah.
Pete and Pete.
Did you
Pete
guys
and
just?
Pete?
Yeah, at the same time.
Nerd On.
Hey everyone, welcome to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need, but you deserve. And this episode's going to be fun because we're going to be reaching back to our childhood.
Oh, man.
And get splatted on.
Inject right into the veins.
Right in the vein.
Hit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
But before we do that, my name is Ali, one of our hosts.
Corey?
I'm Tom, not a host of this body, but a host.
Are you a
of the
body
show.
snatcher?
I
Okay.
am body snatcher.
Oh, wow. And I am Josh.
Yeah.
So Caitlin couldn't join us for this episode, so we thought that we would do a nostalgia episode. And
Can I preface before we get started?
preface this episode.
I am of the youngest one here,
You are
Yeah.
and of the terminally Asian.
terminally
people.
Asian.
Yeah.
So there might be a skew of what shows I might be talking about when we get
That's
into
fair.
it.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So, but
We
we're
might
all,
go
we're all
old
like
school.
80s kids,
You're
right?
welcome too, Tom.
Are you 80s kid? What do
No,
you-
he's a 90s kid.
You're a 90s kid.
1991.
That'll work.
Barely legal.
Yeah.
So you were like you were kind of like my little brother.
Okay.
Am
That's
I
cool.
like,
So
am I-
you'll have a
do I-
reference
do I,
point.
A little
do
bit
I
of a reference
do I
point.
act like your little brother?
Kind of.
Okay. So what are we talking about?
We are talking about Nickelodeon.
As an
Nickelodeon.
entirety.
Yes.
Nickelodeon as an entity.
It's a nostalgia episode. We
Yeah.
were talking about it. And we were like, oh, we should do that.
Yeah,
It was so
dog.
much fun.
Mhm.
There's so much to talk about. Like I think
It's
just
a big topic.
the night shows, the live action shows, the
Yep.
The
Oh, yeah.
movies.
the animated. And Corey, what was that?
The game
one?
shows.
The magazine.
Nick Magazine.
I
Nickelodeon Magazine, please.
don't know that.
What?
Do you know that? I don't know that.
Yeah, I
I
remember
want to.
that.
I
I
want
was
to hear
all
what you
about
gotta
that.
say about that.
You say you remembered it?
I remembered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember?
I had a subscription.
Me too.
That and Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power had Nintendo.
Yep.
And then
I still have the last issue.
Fox
of Nintendo
Kids had
Power.
one too that I had.
I
But
didn't have that one.
this is not the magazine episode.
And Boys Life because I was a Boy Scout.
We should totally do a magazine episode. The family-friendly magazine episode.
Earliest memories. Can you
Earliest
guys
memories. Yeah,
let's start there.
remember
Let's go
that?
way
We're getting
back.
so old.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Get out of my face. So for
You should
me,
have put us together on a couch.
No.
this is nice. It's a nice couch. I remember as a kid, like my earliest memories
Your members.
of like cartoons watching was like Gargoyles and like maybe some Pokemon, right? And then it took me, like as a young kid, you get really like used to one.
Were those
form.
Nickelodeon?
No,
Oh, okay.
you get
Got
really
it.
used to watching one thing.
We're gonna get there.
And then you get your friends who are like, oh, you don't watch this? You're not cool. Like, watch this on Fox. Like, what's Fox? I only know ABC. And then soon I got into like Boomerang and Cartoon Network. And I was like, oh, there's cartoons just for kids. I don't have to watch whatever my dad wants me to watch, like Arthur and PBS.
Yeah.
And then, because to me, Nickelodeon became kind of like what the cool kids were watching, but also like not the really kid like friendly stuff. Because there was a lot of like
Ren and Stimpy.
fart jokes or like more adult, disgusting, nasty jokes on there. So like the first Nickelodeon like thing I remember watching was probably Rugrats
Okay.
and then Cat Dog.
Yep.
And so I
Yeah.
mean that might be
Yeah.
like one of the newer ones for you guys, but like I remember that little late night watching Rocket Power.
Were you a Cousin Skeeter fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
a good show.
So I mean, those are my earliest memories of it, and then I think later on getting into like all that, and then like the Amanda Show.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was a Nick Jr. kid is where I started young.
Same.
Okay.
Like real young.
What's some of that content in there?
Well, there was Face. I don't remember like, hi there, Face here.
Yep.
He was like
What? Face.
the network.
Blues Clues
guy.
was a Nick
Blues
Jr.
Clues.
Yeah.
Nick. Okay, I know
Um,
Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues.
Little Bear.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little Bear.
Yeah, Little Bear was the shit. That
David
was
the
a great
Gnome.
show.
Was David the Gnome?
I don't know if that was Nick, but I did watch that. I'll do a bit more. But then I remember getting older and watching
Blues Clues.
Blues Clues.
And then they changed the dude.
I
was
feel like
"What is
I feel
this?"
like I watched Blue's Clues a little
Well, like,
Because you had a
beyond
little
the
brother.
age of where I maybe
Yeah.
should have.
oh,
you
I
had a
did.
little brother.
I'm the same way.
That's my
'cause I had the
forever
little sister.
excuse. Yeah, it's like my attention skewed to the younger stuff.
I
Yeah.
had a weird opposite where my older sister kept watching it, and I was watching, and I was like, "Why are you watching?" that?"
Because you're watching, because you love
but
it.
like,
I was like,
but like then
no.
I graduated to like Doug and stuff like that.
Pepper Ann?
Yeah, I don't know if that was Nickelodeon. I'm not sure. But then I remember watching the live action stuff, and we'll get more into depth on all of this stuff. But like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Double Dare. I don't know if you remember this show
Secret
called
Temple?
Wienerville, where is this guy
Yeah.
Mark Wiener?
Yeah. Eat My Shorts, was that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Hey,
Eat
Dude.
My Shorts. Hey Dude, yes.
But yeah, it was. I was a Nick kid for a long time, and I used to watch Nick at Night with my family every night.
Yeah,
So
Cosby.
watch like we loved the Munsters, and we loved I Love Lucy, stuff like that.
Yeah, for me it was same. Like we started with Nick Jr. A little too much Blue's Clues for my age, probably, but it's okay. But mainly it was a lot of like I just grew up like everything on Nickelodeon. My parents didn't want to pay for Disney Channel, so I wasn't a fancy kid.
Disney Channel's like expensive.
Yeah, you had to buy like a whole different package. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
But Cat Dog, Rugrats, Angry Beavers. I'm just looking at this list here. Ren and Stimpy, huge favorite of mine.
Yeah,
Stimpy, Weedy.
I actually wasn't allowed to watch that after a while. I got to watch a bit of it, and then my mom watched it once, and she was
Realized.
like, "What
I didn't watch
the
it
hell are
that
you watching?"
often, and I think I avoided that. The show that my parents did not let me watch was The Simpsons
Okay.
because they
okay.
heard Bart say hell one time, and that was it.
But they were fine with Ren and Stimpy and their rubber nipples and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Okay.
totally fine.
Door to door rubber nipple
But I
sales.
stuck with like Cat Dog and Angry Beavers.
Yeah, Angry
the
Beaver
most
was
part.
great.
Um,
Invader Zim.
Invader Zim I actually didn't watch
Anyone-
until adulthood.
Anyone Rocco?
Yeah, Rocco's
Oh,
Modern Life
of course.
for sure. All Real
Rocko's Modern Life is
Monsters.
another huge favorite of mine.
I was into Secret World of Alex Mack
Yeah.
for a long time.
But yeah,
had a
I got
huge
into Alex
crush on
Mack.
her.
My brother and I both loved Alex Mack. We loved Keenan and Kel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kablam.
Huge. Kablam. Like
Guts.
those shows.
So some of
We're
these shows
good.
you're saying, it's kind of like if I'm like not fluent in the language, so I'm like picking
Yeah.
on pieces. I'm like,
Did you ever watch Guts?
No.
Piece of the Astro Crag?
I don't.
Nothing?
I know what an aggro crag is, but what was the secret of the hidden temple?
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
Legends of
that
the Hidden
show.
Temple.
The secret
Oh.
of the majestic temple thingamajigger.
Wild
thing.
and Crazy Kids.
Mhm.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. Tom, thank you very much.
That's the running game on the iOS, right? Where you're running forever. The
Rocket
Yes.
Power. Did
yeah.
Rocket Power, man.
you watch Animorphs? Were you old
Yeah,
enough for
I
that?
remember Animorphs.
Yeah.
Animorphs was good.
I remember the books.
Were
I
you
remember
old enough?
Scholastic book journal.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh,
They
there's
had
a
like
show.
like if you move the cover,
Yeah, the
the
little-
person would change into the animal. But I want to say, I think me and Ali are the closest in age
Yeah,
together,
I think
and
so.
we both have little brothers. So we had the fate of being the babysitter,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
so the little brother you had
We mean the fate, the grand opportunity.
the grand
To
opportunity.
elongate
Yes.
your childhood.
100 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowd.
Oh my god!
No.
What?
Real Monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pete and Pete.
Did you
Pete
guys
and
just?
Pete.
Yeah. At the same
Allegra's
time.
Window.
Oh my
What is this? I don't know what these mean.
Those are all
my favorite
like all
part.
the memories are coming back. I
Yeah,
love
me
it.
I
too.
feel like
As I'm
that-
looking
I
through
feel
this.
like dumb kids on like BuzzFeed are like, "What is this?"
Are You Afraid of the Dark was one of my favorites.
I am afraid of it. Oh, you're not asking. Okay.
So should we? Are we? Let's.
We'll get
so
to it.
favorite
We'll get
shows.
Let's go favorite shows. Like, I mean,
Okay.
you could just like kind of spout them out. For me, like favorite shows, and again, this is gonna be a little
Wild
bit
Thornberries.
for smashing. Fucking.
Yeah, Salute Your Shorts is on there.
Rugrats is a big one for me. Again, anything for me that had any type of resonance with me, like his name was Tommy, I was Tommy, I was like,
Yeah.
You wore a diaper. He wore a
yeah, I
diaper.
had
Yeah,
one
yeah.
hair on my head. You know,
I want to give a shout out to Rugrats real quick because
Reptar.
it's a super progressive show. If you think about it, all the women are the breadwinners in that show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And all the men
Yeah.
are stay-at-home dads. And that wasn't in the 90s, early 2000s. That is not a thing that was stereotypical or
Yeah.
even really widely thought of at a time. So I want to give a shout out to that going back and watching it. It's pretty cool to see that.
Also, I will say, I remember
Dr. Lipshits.
one time you were playing piano and you played the theme song and how
Yeah.
simple it is. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's super. It's just two fingers. Just dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
But that when you hear that, it sparkles that like warm feeling of like, oh,
What's
nothing
that
could go
company?
wrong.
Klasky Pucho or whatever.
Classy Cuspo, yeah, with the weird eyeballs in the mouth. Thing.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, you can't. SpongeBob
I
with
never
just
really watched SpongeBob. It was past my time.
revolutionized
Oh, dude, I watched some
animation
SpongeBob.
for like a quick.
I kind
minute.
of bridged the gap. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Fairly Odd Parents, Butch Hartman. Oh man, Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, I'm getting into like later.
You're getting
stuff.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
later.
like, I haven't seen these ones.
Cat Dog was good. You watched Cat Dog?
I watched Cat Dog.
Cat
Cat
Dog,
Dog was
yeah.
like early.
I think I
for me.
still remember all or 90% of the words to that theme song.
Oh, I don't.
I
do.
still
On
remember
Friday
the
with
words
wolf
to
in a
Blues
early,
Clues
was born in
songs.
a- No blue bunny, no giraffe, hog, was a key line, K-line, little cat dog. Cat Dog.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know, but back in town, how can I could have cat dog?
Eureka's
Cat
Castle?
dog. Yeah.
Oh my god.
With the dragon who ate peanut butter.
So everybody at home, what's happening is
That's
that
the oldest one you're going to find that I'll relate to, I think.
we put together a list. Like we always, sometimes our listeners ask us how we put together our shows. We make a list of
I
our
write
talking
some
points.
manuscript.
Yes, a manuscript of our talking notes. And then we just kind of wing it.
Yeah.
And right now there is so much of my childhood coming
Flooding.
raining
Yeah,
down.
like it's flooding
It's
right
oozing.
now.
I didn't realize how much Nickelodeon did. And like,
yeah.
I remember like Fox Kids, like we've talked about Power Rangers in the past. Like that was Fox Kids. The Fox did a lot of stuff, but the other thing was Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And Nickelodeon, I remember spending a lot of time watching, not just babysitting my brother, but just me as a kid, like watching like Rugrats. Probably, if I had to choose, was probably my favorite animated because they had.
It's a hard question to answer.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is.
Because I have a different answer right now
Oh, hey,
than I
Arnold.
did
Sorry.
when I was a kid,
yeah.
like actually growing up on cartoons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, my favorite, probably Nickelodeon show of all time, is Avatar.
Oh, okay.
But
If I had to,
Avatar, The Last Airbender,
Correct.
or Legend of Korra. Okay.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Avatar
I love
proper.
Korra. I love Korra, but that show was, I feel like it was like a perfect series, like beginning to end. And Korra was good, but there was just things in Avatar that just blew my mind, and I always loved it.
But what was it growing up as a kid?
It was probably either Angry Beavers or Rocko's Modern Life.
Daggy.
Probably Rocko's Modern Life.
Daggy.
Dougie was good.
Yeah.
Or Keenan and Kel.
Oh,
God,
man.
it's hard to pick.
But we're not
No,
talking
no,
about
he said
like.
Daggett. The Angry Beavers. That's what he
We're
was
doing
saying.
cartoons. Is that
Let's do Nick. Let's go by each because they
Okay.
had so many that it's like, oh, let's. So we'll choose cartoons for
Okay.
now
So
because we have a lot
animated.
to pull from.
Rocko's Modern
Animated.
Life?
Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocket
Okay.
Power.
So, I mean, I remember going to the movies and watching Jimmy Neutron.
Oh my
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Cindy was like this cute girl with pigtails. And in the show, she had one ponytail and then she was a bitch. And I was like, what
Really?
the hell, girl? Why is you
Why
all
you
like
gotta go
that?
changing?
Yeah. But man, Avatar has been probably one of my favorite. Like, it's funny because like it's drawn in the style of anime, but
Mhm.
then it's American made. So is it really anime? Whatever. But
Right.
the magic structure, the story, the way that its volumes are created, the
Mhm.
seasons are in books
Yep.
formed, and they all have lessons, and it's way beyond its time. And I think it probably has something we've mentioned before in like our Batman animated series episode, where it had the problem of it appealed too much to adults and teenagers and not enough to kids. It sold a crap ton
Which
of
show?
toys. Avatar.
Oh yeah.
It sold crap ton of toys.
Yep.
Some crazy quack weirdo made a movie out of it. And
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
talk
that
about
happened.
But I mean, in terms of animated, I think Fairly Odd Parents was probably like the one that I stuck to the most. And it was like the one show that if we could all kind of imagine the show that you should have stopped watching, but you kept watching.
Yeah.
And Danny Phantom, because they were all Butch Hartman at the same time. But,
Yeah.
I
Oh.
would say for me, it was probably either Rugrats or Doug.
Yeah.
Not Disney's Doug. Nickelodeon's Doug.
Nickelodeon's Doug. Yep.
Not before they butchered the shit out of it when
Yeah.
Disney bought it.
Thanks,
For me,
Disney.
Rugrats,
Shout out to Disney.
especially going back and watching it as an adult and seeing why my dad was so okay watching it, there's a lot of adult humor sprinkled in that goes
Yeah.
over kids' heads. It's a family show. It's a show that the kids can enjoy. It's a show that the adults can like secretly enjoy
Yeah.
on their own. So I think there's a reason it was such a cultural revolution of a cartoon. But for me, Doug, on the other hand, I strangely related to Doug growing up, just being that like kid who wanted to, it was in love with the girl and like had good friends.
I wanted
and wanted
Quail
like,
Dog.
yeah, I just
you were in love with Patty Mayonnaise.
and I've never seen pizza look so delicious.
Oh.
Doug.
Cartoon pizza.
But like for me, Doug was. I mean, I remember specifically the episode of Doug where Teen Beat, the TV show, a character wears his outfit,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, nice Teen Beat outfit. And he's like, nah, I always wear this. And he like brings his friends over, and he's
Yeah.
like, look, this is all I own. And they're like, nice Teen Beat collection.
Mhm.
And he's like, no. And he buys a bunch of different random clothes, and it turns out that outfit's on the cover of Teen Beat, and he like loses his mind. But his sister Judy is like, just be you. Like that's all that matters. Who cares? But that show spoke to a certain part.
They
of
had
me.
real morals on these kids' television shows.
I also learned that Dink, his neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
stands for double income, no kids, which is why he was always able to like afford shit and like do
Wow.
weird experiments and stuff.
That's funny.
So anyway, those would be my top two.
For animated.
Yeah, for animated.
I'd have to add in Invader Zim. If we're
Oh
doing
my
top two.
god!
I'd be
I see
remiss
that.
if we didn't
Yeah.
give that a huge shout out because Avatar,
Didn't really
yes,
watch it.
but Invader Zim is number 2 for me, and I didn't watch it
Shout out to Richard Horvitz.
until I didn't watch it until like post college.
Yeah.
But it
Whoa.
was I love that show.
I've
so
watched
much.
a couple of episodes and I like
same-
them.
So funny.
Same voice is Daggett from Angry Beavers.
Yep. I just
Um,
Gurr is just
Yeah,
genius.
Gur.
um,
And
Doom
It's-
song now.
Uh,
Doom 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 doom.
it's hard to choose because you have Rugrats, you have Rocco's Modern Life, Real Monsters, Doug, Ren and Stimpy. But if
It
I
is
had
really
to
hard
choose,
to choose because
Hey
Rocco's
Arnold.
is
Hey
up there.
Arnold.
yeah, Rocco's Modern Life is way up there. Rugrats and Ren and Stimpy for me when I was a kid. I mean, the thing about Nickelodeon kids humor, it's probably what forms my weird humor that I have
It's
nowadays.
a little offbeat.
It's a
Yeah.
little offbeat.
Beats
a
to
little
its own
absolutely.
drum.
Yeah, and then you have SpongeBob. That was past my childhood time.
I was the perfect demographic for that.
Yeah.
Like, that was my jam when it first came out. I remember.
What grade were you in?
I don't remember exactly. If I looked up when it came out,
I think I
could
was
tell you.
specifically
What
in
are we-
6th grade.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob.
Let's find out.
1999. I was 10, so I was the perfect demographic for
Oh,
that
yeah.
show.
100%.
I remember the ads for it coming out, and I remember sitting with my sister at my dad's place, and he had one of those big TVs that had like you'd pull out the front and had the red, green, blue, like it would project onto it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and watching the first episode and just being like, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
But it's become such a different thing than the
Fun
first
fact.
older seasons were.
One of my audio teachers recorded the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song.
Bullshit.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Really?
He was
Are
like,
you ready, kids?
yeah. Anyway, so it would
So,
be
Hey Arnold?
probably Rocco's Modern Life and Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, okay.
Those would be my
And you said you shout out to Hey Arnold as well.
yeah. Shout out to Hey Arnold.
That is
Yeah,
a
yeah, for sure.
that
That's a
show.
solid- that's a solid list.
That show is very unique in the sense that it's got a lot more heart than a lot of shows
Yeah.
usually do.
Mhm.
And it wasn't afraid to stray away from the jokes to focus on that heart.
yeah.
And the jazz music behind it is pretty phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Going back as an adult and watching a few clips and episodes in preparation for this.
Yeah.
There's a new movie that just came out, and apparently it's phenomenal if you're a Hey Arnold fan.
Oh, the movie?
Welcome to
Interesting.
the jungle or whatever it is.
Yeah, the one that it kind of takes after the events of the first one because it's kind of like finding out what happened to his parents and how they're.
Oh.
like,
Yeah, I
traveling.
heard it was. Did you see it?
I don't think it's out.
It's supposed to be. It's got really good reviews already.
that's
So
crazy.
Maybe it's early reviews, but
Maybe.
apparently it's phenomenal. So
But no, I mean, that's a cool thing too. We're seeing all these Nickelodeon shows come back in a movie,
Yeah.
and I think it's so great because I think it's a chance for these animators and actors to come back to something that they didn't realize would be such a huge cultural phenomenon. Like we've had guests now who come in like they didn't think that this would be huge, and then they also meet people like us. We're like, you gave us our childhood. They're like, oh God, you're like 20 years younger than me.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to give a shout out to Rocket Power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket
If
Power
you
was
guys ever watched
dope.
that. It was a big success. I was reading up on the time for showing. It's like one of the first cartoons to show like Islander
Mhm.
life and what that
Wow.
kind of is like in a day to day. So I thought that was really interesting, taking a risk on that and really being rewarded for it.
It was like their Nick show for doing extreme sports because they were just so athletically talented at everything they did.
Yeah.
And then you always were like, there's one squid in every group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I don't.
yeah.
I was also gonna give one more shout out for uniqueness to Kablam.
Yeah.
I never
Um,
did Kablam. I don't know.
Kablam is a very unique show in that it's like 6 shows in one or 7 shows in one. It takes place. Your hosts are these 2 characters from a comic book,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they kind of take you from page to page and tell a story. And there's like 6 or 7 different shows within that show. So there's like the Action Team Now, Action Force Now, or whatever it is, with the live action toys. And there's like Melt Man and
Action
stuff like
figures.
that. And then there was Prometheus and Bob. But it was another one of those shows that I was like, I had never seen anything like it at the time, and to this day I still vividly remember it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched it at all.
I watched it a little bit.
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed because wasn't it kind of like a what are
It's
the
like a
shows?
variety
show. That's
yeah.
what I was thinking. Yeah, like a variety show.
Kids
with
variety
cartoons,
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Never heard it.
Nothing. Oh man. Oh well.
So good.
But
It's kind of like the precursor to like Adult Swim
I
kind
was
of
gonna
stuff.
say like chicken robot chicken
Yeah, where it's like it was kind of the jumping off point,
or like Space
It was the
Ghost
launch
Coast
pad.
a little bit.
so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
I
they
could literally,
started-
I could go down the list and say something good
Oh,
about
I love
every
it.
one of these
Yeah,
shows.
it's pretty
we could
crazy.
spend the whole day here.
But we can move to live action.
we
Yeah,
can.
Good.
we could.
Live actiony action.
But here's the thing about Nickelodeon: they had live action shows like Clarissa Explains It All, but they also had like their game show kind of thing.
Well, let's
Yeah.
stick to scripted first then.
Okay,
Real
yeah.
quick. So, like Clarissa Explains It All.
Yeah.
Or The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Are You Afraid of the
Big old
Dark?
crush on her.
Yeah,
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Let's talk about that for a sec.
let's do it.
Because this is in the time of Goosebumps, when Goosebumps, R.L. Stein's
Oh, yeah.
Goosebumps are huge. And kids are looking for that little, for the older teen, like 10 through 12-year-olds who want to get that little bit of scare, but know that like there's no monsters
It's all
under my
gonna work
bed.
out in the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider too.
This is responsible for me throwing sand on every campfire for every camping trip and not
Since.
understanding why it didn't light up. That show was great. I mean, I was a big Goosebumps fan. I don't know about y'all.
I was.
Huge.
I never watched Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I had
Oh,
almost
man.
every book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this really filled. I know that Goosebumps had the movies. They would do the movies on Nickelodeon. They do the Goosebumps movies based off the book.
Yeah,
But
never
this
They
was
would
an
have little
episodic
episodes, too.
tale where you'd get, I think, 2 or 3 stories per episode, right?
Yeah, that's
Erie,
why I
Indiana,
enjoyed it more.
right?
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. If you haven't checked this show out, you can still find it on YouTube. I watched a bunch of clips. It's really good. It's actually
Yeah.
for a kids show. It's really great.
I mean, I can basically say that I loved it so much that for this category, it's going to be my favorite live action.
Really?
Like
Wow.
I was way into Goosebumps as well,
Mhm.
but I was also into this. Like Goosebumps, for me, I would my allowance. I would get an allowance, and it would immediately, when the Scholastic like book van would come to my school, it was Goosebumps.
There you go.
Mhm.
So I
Same.
really ate that scary story, so to speak, that wasn't too scary.
It had some kind of moral.
Yeah. There is a scary story that I can't think of that was just truly scary. It was this book. It's kind of weird, but sorry, it's totally off
it's not
topic.
My
Goosebumps?
favorite
Yep.
was the Night of the Living Dummy series.
Yeah.
Slappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slappy.
And like every single time that little one folded sheet of Scholastic would come to like we would get in our
a
classroom.
little brochure.
Yeah. And I would take it home
But
and
this
like,
isn't
you
Nickelodeon,
gotta
right?
get the new
What, Goosebumps?
Goosebumps.
Yeah, it's not. It was they did movies.
Well, no, they had a Goosebumps show, right?
But I don't
Yeah.
think
I thought it was movies only.
Oh,
I don't think they aired on.
I don't
know.
think they did. Yeah,
It's
it was
okay.
Movies. But I
Um,
love those books.
So your shout out would be Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I think mine.
Would all that like?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because now they
what
have their
is all
skit
that-
shows too.
All that and the Amanda Show. I don't know.
Those would be scripted.
Those would be scripted.
Those are
Yeah.
all scripted. 'cause it's not
I watched a
improv or
lot of
anything.
all that.
I did.
Oh, all that was so good.
Mine
that
would
was
have to be The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Okay.
Good one.
Never watched it.
that. For me, I'm that fucking indie kid. Like I love indie vibe.
So
shit.
cool before it became cool.
Not in that sense. In the sense that it's a tale about 2 brothers growing up
It's
in the
just 2 brothers.
suburbs, and the way they would think about people. And they made this guy into a superhero in their minds, even though he was just a normal guy in real life. Like I love that kind of stuff. It's almost like the vibe of like Beginners a little bit.
Captain Underpants.
Yeah, no.
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 Oh no.
But it's another one of those shows that wasn't afraid to show a little heart and show a little emotion and treat its audience like they were not just kids, but emotionally adept and able to handle these kind of situations.
Mm.
Right.
Didn't treat them like oh, the little kids, like we can't show them real emotion. So I especially growing up with siblings and like a large family where I had like older cousins or buddies where we were kind of rough on each other and stuff like that, and the relationship between 2 brothers and stuff like that. So I really related to that show a lot, and if you haven't checked that out, please do so.
And shout out to them. They have a podcast called
They
The
do.
Adventures of Danny and Mike.
It's great.
And they follow us. Yeah, shout out to them.
Check that out. If you were a
Shout out.
fan of Pete and Pete, check that podcast out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man. So I'm gonna really show my age. So all
Degrassi.
Degrassi's. I don't think it was on. There.
Was it Disney?
I think
They showed it
Degrassi
on
was like.
Disney?
I think it was literally a separate network.
I think it was
Oh, man.
yeah.
But like I fucking love that that shit. Anyways, but all that was the oldest show that I watched live action that's scripted. Because then after that was Amanda Show. Then I was like watching Nessie Classified. I like iCarly, Zoe 101. I watched all that shit,
Really?
bro. But my favorite one was probably Drake and Josh, which was a spinoff of the Amanda Show's Drake and Josh's characters and how they were now living with each other. But man, Drake and Josh, ever since then, when I moved down to LA.
Shout out to Sierra Casey.
Yes. Shout out to Sierra Casey, who was in one of our previous episodes on the Jurassic Park trilogy. Go check it out.
And I heard about Drake Bell living in Glendale. I was like, I must see it.
Fun fact, I used to play at this place called Damon's Steakhouse in Glendale.
Shout out
and
to Damon's.
he came by a few times and listened. He was really nice. He would sing along by sitting there. It was really cool.
Nice.
But man, I absolutely love that show because by the time I was watching that, I think I was in high school.
Mhm.
And it was just it was one, stupid funny. Two, like my parents would let me watch it because it was like family friendly. But like it was about getting with girls and like trying to be popular. And then you have the dope brother and the cool brother. And like Drake is just like cool for no damn reason. But Josh is just trying to make just trying to survive with his dumb but troublesome brother. But you have this younger sister like tormenting them who's smarter than both of them, which is like a weird trope. One thing also, I've told Corey about this. I've informed Corey about my many, many, many volumes of Bays for Days. And one of my Bays for Days is Allison Scagliotti, who was also in Warehouse 13 and in a ABC show called Stitchers. She was in that show, and that's when I started falling in love with her. She was she played Josh's girlfriend, which the thing about her character wise was like she was smarter and just more mean. But the thing is, like, she would only give you attention if she liked you. And that, I think, probably mentally messed me up where, like, now I'm attracted to that kind of girl. But I met her at the airport in Burbank. I was like, oh, my God, I've watched all your shows. She's like, what? You watched all my shows? Because she has, like, a very...
That's so funny.
Weird, like, very
I'm watching
diverse...
it right now.
diverse, like...
Look at you.
diverse, like, background in terms of all her films, all the shows that she's been on. But, yeah. Like, Drake and Josh would be my live action.
It's interesting because... the way you just like described the timeline, like Amanda Show is right when I was like fell off because like I knew that show existed, but I'd never seen it, and I haven't heard of the other
shows I watched.
Yeah, but I never actually like watched the Amanda Show.
Hillbilly moment.
Yeah,
I was really sad when she went cray.
Yeah.
Because she was that one that I was like, she's gonna do it. She's gonna make it.
Well,
because everybody else went.
She was great in Hairspray.
It was the Lindsay Lohan, Hilary Duff, Amanda Bynes. Like, who's gonna make it out of them?
Yeah.
It's like the fast food wars.
Hilary Duff made it.
Yeah,
Hilary Duff for the win.
Who knew?
But
Lizzie
like,
McGuire.
I'm gonna say all this. They all had a Bay moment. They all had a Cray moment. But in terms of stable moments, like
they didn't normalize.
Stable. No, well, I mean, it's not the episode, but Lindsay Lohan's got like businesses all around the world.
That's true. Yeah.
What was yours?
So for me, every now and again, we come upon this show. Settle in, everybody.
All right.
Where
buckle up.
Where we kind of like Bays for Days, but it's where you discover
you in your core
that you're
a growing boy.
You're a growing boy, and for me,
man feelings.
I have coming of tail age.
Coming of age. Yeah.
A what of age?
I said coming of tail age.
Of age. Sorry.
Anyway,
so I liked Alex Mack because it appeals to the sci-fi in me. But for me, it's Melissa Joan Hart. Clarissa Explains It All.
Whoa, that took a turn. I didn't know there was. I thought you were going to say Alex Mack.
No.
Yeah, Clarissa Explains It All. She was.
I was into that show. Like,
me too.
It's kind of the reason I got into Victorious.
I had a huge crush on.
Do you remember the episodes where Ferguson would take over and it was Ferguson Explains It All, and the intro would be different?
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that led me into Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Naturally, but yeah. So I've been following her career until she stopped doing that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart. She was kind of like Amy
Jo
Johnson.
Acting. She did God's Not Dead too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger. She kind of Clarissa was a big crush, I think. It was the next one.
So that was your live action show.
Yeah.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I also want to give a shout out to Kenan and Kel.
Because
that was a show I was addicted to.
Yeah, Kenan and Kel, my brother and I,
we've all
quoted all
it
the time.
Who loves orange soda?
Who loves orange soda?
Kel loves orange soda. Is it true?
Get a bucket of tuna fish, a rake, and meet me behind the store in 10 minutes.
Keenan. Oh, here it goes. Yeah. Sorry about Alex Mack. Let's get
I was
on
talking
to
about Jessica Alba in Alex
Let's
Mack.
get on
but
to
okay.
the and shout out to Salute Your Shorts because that show I remember scaring the shit out of me.
Wait, were we shout out to all that too? Were we saying that that's a scripted?
Yeah,
kind of. I mean, it's the kids.
Yeah.
It's the kids SNL.
Yeah, exactly. Kids SNL where all these other people.
Do you remember?
come
Did you watch Salute Your Shorts?
Yes.
Do you remember the Halloween episode where they talked about the guy who blew his nose off? And like,
no, I don't remember it, but I
there's a
remember
scary
watching
episode
it.
that to this day I still think about it. It's scary.
Oh man.
But game shows.
Shout out to Traumatizing Childhood.
Game shows
I'm gonna start it off with probably the granddaddy of them all, Double Dare.
with Mark Summers.
With Mark Summers, baby. That show is to this day amazing because I learned later on that Mark Summers has OCD and is a germaphobe and a neat freak.
Oh my God! It must have drove him crazy.
I mean, like,
Oh, wow.
to be covered in slime, first of all the time for him, and like be around shows where people are reaching up giant noses to grab flags. I commend him.
Is this like
for facing his fear and diving in there and doing that show?
Is this like Slime Time?
It was a family
It
game
was the
show.
birth
Yeah.
of slime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna say it like this. In terms of game shows, like on Nickelodeon, the only thing I remember is like coming home, like after getting off the city bus, because my parents were broke as shit, and then watching, like literally coming at the end of one game show, and it's just a bunch of kids like in the out open, not in like a sound stage or anything like that, but then it's just like they're doing weird tasks and the slime would hit them or something like that, or they would do trivia and slime would hit somebody.
This
And
is
I was
where
like,
it started. This show started, first episode 1986, last episode 2000.
whoa.
Yeah.
That is
Wow.
that is Nickelodeon Kingdom tenure. Like you're the king. You're the king of the game shows on Nickelodeon. Mark Summers. It was
But Mark
a
Summers
family,
was only until 1993.
still.
But still, Mark Summers is how I remember Double Dare.
It was like Family Feud meets Nickelodeon. And it's the way, I don't know if you remember how Nickelodeon studios used to be painted.
Yeah.
Remember we'd see the studio be like all like zebra print and like, or it looks terrible now because it's boring as shit.
Yeah.
But this is the show that I remember thinking that's where that must have come from because everything was so colorful. I mean, have you ever seen the show
I think
where they do weird?
I'm looking at this phone
Weird
right now. I'm trying to
stunts.
see
Yeah.
these pictures.
Pools full of spaghetti.
Okay.
It's
What was the one where people would just stand there and then if they lost, they just got like a crank and slime?
Double Dare.
Yeah.
Double Dare.
Is that it? Okay?
Yeah.
I guess I watched it like in like
Most
1999.
of them, you would
Okay.
have to find a flag somewhere in a
Yeah.
mess.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
like the goal. Like one of them is like a giant
I
pile
think I
of like
remember
whipped
that.
cream and sauces, and you have to find the flag.
Yeah.
in
Okay.
there.
I remember that.
And there was like a triathlon. Like someone found that flag, and you find the flag, and you run it, and you hand it off to the
There's
next person.
family Double Dare too.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
woo.
It's
Yeah.
a great show. That's probably the one I watched the most. That and Guts.
That's how you can tell my mind's been melted.
Guts.
Yeah, man.
Guts.
Guts was a great show.
For me, it was another pinnacle moment in my childhood.
Man,
For this one.
man feelings.
Not man feelings,
Oh.
but I don't know if you guys know this actually, but my family and I lived in Iran for 3 years of my life.
Yeah,
That
that's-
was 2nd through 5th grade.
Okay.
Or no, sorry. 2nd through 4th grade. So those 3 years.
Mhm.
And that was kind of like I was away from,
America.
America and shows and stuff. But we had satellite TV.
Oh, dang.
That was international satellite. And we would get British TV,
Ah.
which at like 6 p.m., I think I want to say, or something like that, would air Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which strangely only aired for 2 years, and then the rest were reruns.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
It was,
because
I
that
think it
a
was
great
later
show.
at night, but I was fascinated by that show. It captured my imagination and I just loved it. So that has to be my favorite game show
Mm.
from Nickelodeon.
I feel like
Apparently,
game-
it's super rigged. There's like a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah,
kids that
I'm
have come
sure.
out that said like the ending was super rigged.
does it feel like game shows kind of died out for kids like in the 90s? Like,
I think
maybe-
that was the pivot. It was the peak.
because I feel like they switched that out to do now reality shows. Like reality
Yeah,
shows
yeah.
took over as like
Well,
the thing.
What team were you?
Oh, I don't remember team names.
Silver Snakes
been
for
so long.
days, baby.
Silver
Let me look at 'em.
Snakes
Let me
for-
look at 'em.
Silver
'cause now-
Snakes
now I wanna know.
for days. You'd probably be Blue Barracuda.
I don't know which one's more Slytherin.
That sounds right.
Blue Barracuda.
Slytherin. That's Blue Barracuda.
No.
Which one's the more like heinous,
green.
Evil, manipulative?
List them all. Do you know them?
Silver Snakes. That's what I loved the Silver
It was
Snakes.
kind of an imitator of. Do you guys remember American Gladiators?
Yeah.
It was kind of like there was these weird challenges.
That
and,
was
like,
Guts.
Yeah. Man, what would my team be? I don't even remember the teams.
There was like Blue Barracuda, like Purple Parrots, Silver Snakes,
Red Rooster,
I think it was like Red Monkeys, Green something or other.
Green.
I always voted Silver Snakes because I thought they looked the coolest.
I think it was Blue Barracudas. I want to say.
Okay.
Green Golems.
The Green Monkeys.
Yeah.
I'm just doing alliteration now.
Something like that.
Red Jaguars.
Red Jaguars. That's what it was.
Orange Iguanas.
Orange iguanas.
And there was some statistic. Someone did a statistic. I'm gonna look it up.
What kind of
They were
names are
this team-
these?
if you're on this team, you're more likely to win, or something like that.
It's like, oh, that's my favorite animal, but not my favorite color. Oh, that's my
No.
favorite color, but not my favorite animal. I don't like. It's like, come on.
So game shows. So that was game shows.
That was game
what about?
shows.
Did you have any, or was that because I
No,
think
I-
game
I-
shows was pre
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think that's why I asked. Like, I think
these
around.
kind of like these Nickelodeon game shows that we grew up on.
Yeah.
may not have been in your.
Well, I'll tangent off a little bit. Like, We're in the World of Carmen Sandiego was like the biggest game show for kids I remember. And the thing is, like, I don't remember game shows that were meant for kids after that point.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
everything after that was just like Jeopardy or Wheel of
Like
Fortune, but it was
Millionaire.
more family friendly, not for kids. Like, these sound like they're for kids. And that's why I'm like, I don't think game shows like had a lot of like popularity by the time, I popped out of the womb, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, I'm ready. They're like, nope, no more.
I got the
Sorry.
statistic for Legend of the Silver Snakes won 38% success rate. Green Monkeys were second with 33. Blue Barracudas were last.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
So
LA.
Blue Barracuda suck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Underdog, baby.
Wow.
Sorry about that. Underdog.
Cubs, baby.
Wow.
Cubs still won.
Once in 100 years.
That's all it needs.
Do we wanna do
108 years.
You want to do some Nick at Night?
We can do some Nick at Night.
Some Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Night. Oh.
And
I
so,
mean-
for me, Nick at Night, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of it was like Fresh Prince,
Yeah.
That's the thing, yeah.
Cosby.
It's kind of like where you went to
I love
syndicate.
See, my Nick at Night was
Munsters.
I Love Lucy, the Munsters,
Yeah.
like the 50,
The old
like Happy
school,
Days.
Yeah. Happy Days.
Happy Days was
Was
great.
there like Who's the Boss and all that, or like
Welcome Back, Cotter.
Was there like Three's Company on Nick at Night
Yeah,
too?
Three's Company was for
I
sure.
remember that. Okay, so I think that was the actual time I could watch like adultish stuff.
Yeah.
Because Three's
You know what's
Company-
on Nick at Night now?
Fair.
Friends.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Isn't that
Yeah.
weird?
That feels wrong.
That feels super wrong.
Whoa.
George
That's great.
Lopez is on there now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jesus
Oh yeah.
Christ.
There's
Two and a Half Men.
But the Munsters for me was
I mean, I
probably
love Friends. Don't get me wrong, but that
it
just
shouldn't
feels
be a Nick.
yeah.
It's not old enough. It's not old enough.
It's not
It
old
is.
enough.
It totally
that's
is.
the thing. Is it
No.
is. That's the
It
sad thing.
totally
It's like
is.
Don't say it.
in high school, I remember some friends of mine. We were talking to this new kid, and we were trying to get to know him. We were like, "Yeah, so what kind of music do you listen to?" He's like, "Oh, I like classic rock." And we were like, "Oh, sweet. What kind of classic rock?" And he was like, like Metallica and stuff. And we were just like, "Dude, that's not classic rock." But it kind of is.
It kind of is.
It's like sometimes you'll listen to the radio and you'll hear the oldies, or the
That
golden
happened-
oldies,
dude.
and it's like Nirvana, and you're like,
Dude, it happened the other day, and they were like kicking off the oldies, and fucking Third Eye Blind came on.
Oh,
And
no.
My heart broke, and I was like, no, they're not oldies, but they are.
yeah.
Oh, TV Land. That's kind of
Yeah.
it was part of the branding, I guess.
Yeah.
TV
I'd say Happy Days for me was pretty great. The Munsters and Happy Days are the ones I remember watching the most. I mean, I Love Lucy is classic.
Yeah. A lot of I
I've
Love
watched
Lucy.
that beyond Nick at Night, so it's kind of transcends that for me.
Was there another show similar to I Love Lucy?
Laverne and Shirley was on there a lot. Which they're
not
a
another black and
spin-off.
white show.
The Munsters. Munsters with black and white.
Yeah, Munsters.
For
Munsters. okay.
majority, yeah.
The Adams
but the-
Family.
I don't know.
Addams Family,
Andy
yeah.
Griffith's show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe,
actually,
maybe that's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
It
I
might have
remember
been that.
seeing that because I remember watching Matlock.
There was no
and I like,
spin-offs
oh, hey.
for I Love Lucy, was there?
Lucy Loves You.
Happy Days was. That was the Laverne and Shirley was a spinoff of Happy Days.
Mine for me was again I'm a little younger, but yeah, it was Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince was
my
Prince.
Nick and Night, and that's how I watched the entire series.
That's funny because that's not where I watched it. but
It's
I love that
crazy.
show.
It would
It's a great show.
It would play 4 episodes a night.
I
What
think I watched it live.
I gotta give props to Will
live.
Smith too,
When it
because
was going?
anytime
When it was
someone
going.
starts singing that when he's been at a public event, he'll finish it.
That's
Oh,
dope.
love it.
Like he respects where he came from,
Oh yeah,
and
I
I love
remember-
that about people.
My family and I, we watched a lot of, and maybe we should have a sitcom episode, but like,
We should.
we will.
but yeah, but we watched a lot of sitcoms, and one of them was when Fresh Prince and Family Matters were airing, like live, like back to back or whatever. Like that was like a beautiful.
I remember
evening.
there was a crossover, not really a crossover, but I remember Carl Winslow had to invite a judge, and at the very end, it was Uncle Phil who came in. I was like,
well, we have our 90s sitcom episode that's on the idea list.
Yeah,
so,
we do. We could.
I said we will.
Yeah.
One of my favorite other crossovers. You know that Mork and Mindy was from Happy Days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He was an original character, a weird alien character that visited Fonzie on 1 or 2 episodes of Happy Days, and it was Robin Williams.
Weird.
And they were like, "Give this man a show."
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
But
you got the Wonder Years.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! How did I forget about that?
If I sang out of tune.
The Brady Bunch. That was one of those things.
Yeah, I didn't watch that as much on Nickelodeon.
No, I watched it a little bit.
Wasn't one of my faves.
I Dream of
One
Jeannie.
of my faves. Yes, I Dream of Jeannie. Oh my god, and Bewitched.
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 Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I loved Bewitched. I loved that show so much.
Super good.
Oh my gosh.
show.
It
See, it was an old show.
Thanks, Tom.
Wow, Tom.
I
And
just-
then they invented color.
Yeah.
This is making me. I know this is what nostalgia does, but now I just want to go back to being a kid watching Nick at Night and
I know.
Nickelodeon.
Well,
Coming home from school and
I think that could bring us to our next topic, which is like, what show? I mean, if we could still watch it, what would you still watch? What would it be?
Well, I'm excited.
If-
Rocco's
if they
Modern Life is
continued
supposed to come
making
back for a special.
They would have, they would continue making it just for me.
Invader Zim.
You guys
Avatar.
go first. You know what? Yes, Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. They have to continue the path. They have.
Yes.
It's the next Avatar in line. I think it's an Earth.
Yes.
It's definitely an Earth.
I don't like what happened to Korra. I'm very disappointed.
Well, okay. So, man, calling it. We're gonna do an Avatar episode. I'm gonna make y'all watch it. I'm a Clockwork
I've
Orange, you
watched
guys.
most of it. I've watched most of it.
But Legend of Korra.
oh my gosh.
Legend of Korra
So much
has
to
Josh,
watch.
it is a lot to watch. Avatar is
When they
a lot of
announced-
I know it
episodes.
is. I've looked
But-
at it and I'm like,
but
sweet.
Start with
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
It's 20
Yeah.
episodes.
mark the time. 40 minutes in, you will thank me 73,000 hours later when you finish everything. I'm telling you right now, it is probably a really like
but do
cutting edge
Bebop
of,
first.
of child animation.
yes.
Cutting edge child animation.
Cutting
Like,
edge.
But Cowboy Bebop first.
Cowboy Bebop is adult animation, but
Yeah.
this for children,
I don't think it's for children.
It's not for children.
When you
It's
get to
for
blood
everybody.
bending, it's not for children anymore. Korra, when they announced Korra, like
What a terrifying
I was
phrase,
so-
blood bending.
I was so excited for Korra, and I enjoyed it thoroughly for the first couple of seasons, and then like I still haven't finished it because it like went off the air or whatever. And they like I think in the second season they changed the animation houses and it wasn't
the
as
entire
good.
marketing team like just dropped the ball.
They just wanted to like bury it or something. I don't understand.
but it's phenomenal. Like even Legend
It's
of Korra is
incredible.
still good.
It's good.
It's good. I think they just didn't handle it well because
Yeah.
the arc that she goes through are much more dramatic
Yeah.
than
She's an adult.
than Aang ever did. Like, well, she goes through so much more trauma.
Mhm.
Like Aang just deals with grief,
Yeah.
like a giant grief, not like just, but Korra goes through traumatic events in such short amount of times. Like every book is like a week later.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
crazy to think about. But if there's a show, how about you, Corey? If there's a show they kept showing right now, what would it be? And then I think also, I guess to that point, where did you fall off? But you kind of mentioned that earlier, like Amanda.
We
show,
all
right?
kind of
Yeah.
You fell off after Amanda
right
show?
after Amanda show,
Mhm.
right during Amanda
Yeah,
show.
that was
I think.
probably
What?
Well,
Y'all
because
fell
it
off when I
depends
got
upon-
on.
Well, it's about the age. Like you
Yeah,
start
it's
to
the
get
age
into
thing.
junior high, high school, extracurricular activities, different kinds of shows.
Yeah.
Can-
Video
I was
games.
starting to watch
Well-
like Family Guy and Simpsons and
Live
stuff at that
action, but
point.
then like Pokemon stole my cartoon attention.
yeah,
And Beast Wars.
Beast Wars for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was my adolescence.
I feel. Go ahead,
If
go
I
ahead.
could make, I'm having trouble. I would say OG Doug, like Nick Doug. If
Yeah.
they could keep making that show, I would probably still watch a bunch of it.
Mhm.
Because
it'd be more like a tamer version of Rick and Morty, I guess, for you.
yeah, in a sense. I mean, like you said, the Quailman bits were really great.
It had like
a
two
lot of heart
movies
to
too,
it.
right?
The whole love story with Patty Mayonnaise was phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the live action show would be Adventures of Pete and Pete. That was a great show. That was a phenomenal. If you have a chance to go watch a few episodes, do so. It's great. It's like Wonder Years meets like I don't know. It's great. That's
Joshy
what I would
Josh?
want.
It's a really,
Are You Afraid of the
really.
Dark?
It's a yes.
Yeah.
That would be
but I
pretty
mean,
cool.
there are a lot. I mean, Here's the thing is like
Wienerville, that's what you want.
Yeah.
More Wienerville.
If you look back, it was pretty cheesy.
Yeah.
And if they had what they have now with CGI and anything like that, they could potentially borderline make it super scary. Like in what they could achieve.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I would totally watch
Wasn't
it.
it like the preview of M. Night Shyamalan's Tales of the Crypt where it looks this is not supposed to be that scary. Calm down, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I mean, now they could really achieve. I mean, it's really, really hard because Nickelodeon truly had, like when we talk about nostalgia, Nickelodeon captured a lot of my childhood when it comes to their cartoons. And so it's very hard to like decide like, but if I could only choose
but
one,
I'm putting a gun to your head.
I know you are.
Choose like I do what I did. I did one live action and one cartoon.
Okay. I will do Are You Afraid of the Dark for my live action, and for cartoon, I will do Rocko's Modern Life.
Good choice. Good choice.
You still like me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Rocko's Modern Life that's the other one I was going between that and Doug, but I was like, Doug, there's something that hit me about Doug.
I always remember, I'm feeling nauseous. I'm feeling nauseous.
Turn the page, wash your hands.
Turn the page, wash your hands.
That was
yeah. I remember that. So
Yes.
How about heifer, a cow actually being raised by wolves?
So good.
For me, so I'm gonna open it up, and your explanation kind of like opened this wound up.
Oh,
So
get this man a Band-Aid.
the whole idea of like, oh, we jumped off of watching Nickelodeon stuff after Amanda's show because middle school and high school and going to other things. I continued watching Nickelodeon until like after high school.
Yeah. You were watching it last night. That's why you didn't answer our text.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it actually like one of like stupid like high school relationship or middle school relationship. It literally got me out of one of my first ever like girlfriend like relationships. Like,
Did you learn something? Like you were like, oh wow.
No, she found out I watched cartoons and she was like, I don't want to date you anymore.
Well, she's
And I was
not welcome
I was
here.
like,
Yeah.
I was on the phone with her and she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm watching a cartoon right now. She's like, you're watching cartoons? Like, yeah, what the hell do you do when you get home? Like, I'm cooking food, I'm watching cartoons. And then she was like, okay, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go. And I was like, okay. And later on, like my friend was like, yeah, she's gonna break up with you. I was like, cool, great, because I'm watching a show.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So even until then, I wasn't traumatized from it, but every once in a while I'm like,
I watched a lot of SpongeBob.
Oh, well,
actually.
no.
That was the show I watched much longer than I maybe should have, but
Yeah.
until it got really absurdist.
It went down.
It went downhill. The first like half of the series is really great stuff.
I mean, by the time this episode comes out, Butch Hartman will have left Nickelodeon. He did Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. He's been with
I watched Fairly Odd Parents.
he was at Nickelodeon for 10, 20 years.
Wow.
I guess I was a little after because I did watch Fairly Odd
Yeah.
Parents. I watched
Jimmy Neutron?
Jimmy Neutron, not as much Jimmy Neutron, but like right before that is where I found
I saw Jimmy Neutron from beginning to end. And that's crazy for me to think. And
Yeah.
I saw Fairly Odd Parents from beginning to end.
I
where,
like Fairly Odd Parents.
They even had a
lot.
live action movie where Drake Bell played Timmy. And he never grew up and never had, and nothing ever
And
happened
it's
in his
interesting
life.
because I know those shows existed and they ran.
Yeah.
And I was
The
familiar with
crossover
them.
episode.
But it was more
yeah.
like other channels stole my attention. Like,
Mhm.
like I
Yeah.
said, like Pokemon kind of hit the scene, I think, around that time. And
Well,
like that's where my attention was. So like I didn't watch as much Nickelodeon.
Well, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all these things happen on like Saturdays. But the thing with Nickelodeon, to me, it happened throughout the day. And the thing was like Nickelodeon from 4, this is really crazy, from 4 to like 5:30, then 5:30 to 7 was like Cartoon Network. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's when they would show like Samurai Jack, Toonami.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
right.
Toonami was a show.
But then at night, Adult Swim. And then like,
It
and
might have been when we started to
I
get
also started
Disney
to do
Channel.
the Disney Channel Saturday morning one Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah,
and with
yeah.
like recess and
but then,
stuff like that.
but then
Yes.
Disney Channel used to have like Sunday movie nights and then also Monday movie nights too.
Yeah,
And so
I
that's
think
where
that's
I
what
watched
happened. I started doing like Cow and Chicken and Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That might have been
yeah.
when I grew out of that.
Well, this is not the Cartoon Network episode.
I know, we'll
but,
do that.
but-
I was trying to pinpoint when it happened.
But
for me.
if I had to pick an animated show that were to keep going, I'd watch is probably Avatar, obviously, which will continue. But if the one that's not is probably Danny Phantom because
I did watch that too.
it was cool. It was a kid superhero who literally turned to a ghost as a superpower,
Phantom,
and he could have ghost powers.
Danny Phantom.
And he
That's the theme.
that is the thing.
That's the real theme.
See, that's what old school themes were. They just stated what they were.
Danny Phantom. Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon are the champions. Ain't got nothing on Pokemon.
But Danny
Best theme song
Phantom,
ever.
because I don't think that they finished that out correctly. It was only after like 3 seasons, so I was like, they didn't finish this correctly. And they ended it with the movie. That's what most Nickelodeon shows did. They just ended it with like several movies.
Oh my God, I can't believe we forgot this. They did live action movies.
Yeah, dude.
Harriet the Spy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dog.
Good Burger.
Yeah, dog.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
Can
And
I
this
get
could
your
be
order?
blasphemous because they weren't as good as Disney Channel original movies.
No, they weren't.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
Okay,
they weren't.
Also,
but-
can I
Smart House,
say
that's
that
happening now.
Yeah.
We didn't listen, guys.
I forgot about Salute Your Shorts.
Oh, we mentioned it.
Yeah.
Did you mention it?
Yeah.
Corey's all about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. There was an episode, a Halloween episode, where they talked about a plumber who blew his nose off and he went around the camp killing people with a plunger, and it scared the shit out of me.
Rightly
Wow.
so. Rightly so.
But if there was a live action show they kept going on, it'd be Drake and Josh.
Okay.
They
Shout out to Sierra Casey.
again. They kept just making movies. Sierra Casey is a friend of the show.
Yeah.
She was on the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll pick Clarissa Explains It All since I didn't answer her
Yeah.
for live action.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
If you guys don't know who Sierra Casey is, if you go watch Drake and Josh, she's the hot college girl.
She also gets dressed up in a football uniform and gets tackled in one episode. Shout
I'm
out.
just saying, you can't. I just love the fact that Josh loves Oprah so much in the show, and he runs over Oprah in the show. It's just, I was like, come on, like those dumb things. I'm like, oh, those are so great, so good, so
Yeah.
fun.
That
I
was a
feel
good episode.
complete.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Everybody
feel
at
like I've-
home, tell us your favorites.
When we comment on post on Thursdays about our episode, let us know. Let us know your things in there when we ask these questions. What are your favorites? Which ones did you watch? And which one would you continue watching if they still made it?
Yeah. Everybody home, thank you so much for listening. All of the show's information can be found on our website, nerdonthepodcast.com. It has all of our social medias, where to follow us all separately. Also, a big thing there is you can be linked to our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon allows us to continue to do this and give more.
Yeah.
We get to make more and more as
And you get more stuff.
more
We get
stuff.
bonus episodes, early access to merchandise.
Yeah.
You get a direct channel to our Discord to speak with us and
Yeah.
chat
And
all
people
nerd
are
things
asking
nerd.
so many questions. It's
Great
awesome.
questions.
Yeah.
Got to join the conversation.
But yeah, I mean, even $1, $2.
I mean, by this point, by the time
Less
this
than a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
by the
Right.
time this episode comes out, we've hit our second goal for
Yeah.
it. So I mean,
We
it's,
have.
Yeah.
So thank you to all who have supported us. And
Thank you so much,
future
everybody.
we
supporters.
continue to gain momentum as much as your support continues to grow for us.
Right.
Yes.
And we love the fact that you guys love everything that we put out, as well as like our stickers and our pins. And so we're just looking forward to actually making more things
Yeah.
for you guys. So.
Good stuff.
We like to give back.
We love to give back. Seriously, thank you cannot be expressed enough.
Yep.
As always, nerd on.
Ending broadcast.